I just found out my best friend of 15 years has been living a double life, and I was her cover story. Throwaway account because this is still unfolding and I'm losing my mind. I don't even know where to start. My hands are literally shaking as I type this. I've been staring at my phone for 3 hours, reading through messages that make me want to vomit, and I need to tell someone before I completely lose it. Sorry if this is long, I'm still processing. So, my best friend Sarah and I met freshman year of college. We were randomly assigned as roommates, and you know how that usually goes, polite tolerance at best. But somehow, we just clicked. She was studying graphic design, I was pre-law, and we'd stay up until 3 a.m. talking about everything and nothing. She was the person who held my hair back when I got food poisoning from sketchy dining hall sushi. I was the one who helped her through her mom's cancer diagnosis sophomore year. We were each other's emergency contacts, bridesmaids in waiting, the whole 9 yards. After graduation, we both ended up in Chicago. She started freelancing, I went to law school. We got an apartment together in Wicker Park, a tiny 2-bedroom that cost too much but felt like ours. We hosted elaborate themed dinner parties. We had a tradition of Sunday morning bagels from the place on Division Street. We knew each other's coffee orders, Netflix passwords, deepest fears. She was, without exaggeration, my person. That was 15 years ago. We're both 37 now. Here's where it gets complicated. About 8 years ago, Sarah started dating this guy Marcus. Nice enough guy, worked in finance, had one of those personalities that's pleasant but forgettable. They dated for about a year before he proposed. The engagement seemed sudden to me. I'd met Marcus maybe a dozen times, always brief encounters. But Sarah seemed happy, so I was happy for her. Then came the wedding planning. Or rather, the lack of wedding planning. Sarah kept pushing the date back. First it was because they wanted to save more money. Then Marcus got a new job and they wanted to wait until he settled in. Then it was family drama, then it was wanting to lose weight first, then COVID hit and that was obviously a legitimate reason. But even after COVID, there was always something. At a certain point, I stopped asking about wedding plans because it seemed to stress her out. We're just not in a rush, she'd say, shrugging. We're basically married anyway. The wedding is just paperwork and a party. Fair enough. I'm not the relationship police. But here's the thing I started noticing, maybe 3 years ago. I never saw Marcus. Like, ever. Sarah lived in a nice 1-bedroom in Lincoln Park. She'd moved out of our shared place when she got engaged. I'd been to her apartment hundreds of times. But Marcus was never there. He travels a lot for work, Sarah explained. He's usually only home on weekends, and even then he's exhausted. You know how it is. I did know how it is. My own relationship had imploded 2 years prior when my ex cheated on me. Sarah had been there through all of it, bringing wine and tissues and murderous solidarity. I was busy with work anyway, trying to make partner at my firm. I didn't think much about Sarah's absent fiancé. There were other small things, though. Things that didn't quite add up but that I rationalized away because, well, she was my best friend. Why would she lie? She never posted about Marcus on social media. He's really private, she said. She never brought him to events. He's not social, you know that. She always met him at his place, never the other way around. His apartment is bigger and he has a home office set up. The few times we did all hang out, maybe once a year, it was always weirdly formal. Marcus would show up for dinner, make small talk, then leave early. He has an early morning, Sarah would say apologetically. Looking back, the red flags were everywhere. But we see what we want to see, right? And I wanted to see my best friend in a happy relationship, finally settling down after her tumultuous 20s. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago. I was having a spectacularly shit day. A case I'd been working on for 8 months fell apart due to a technicality. My managing partner basically implied I'd fucked up. I hadn't, but try telling him that. I left the office at 9 p.m. feeling like a failure, and I just wanted to see my best friend. I knew Sarah was home. We'd texted earlier and she'd mentioned ordering Thai food and watching the Great British Bake Off. Her apartment was on my way home anyway. So I stopped by, grabbed her favorite wine from the corner store, and headed up. I have a key to her place. She has a key to mine. We've had each other's keys for years. I knocked first. I'm not a monster. No answer. I could hear the TV through the door, so I figured she had headphones in or was in the bathroom. I used my key. Sarah? It's me. I brought wine and emotional damage. The apartment was dim, just the glow from the TV. The Great British Bake Off was indeed playing. There was Thai food on the coffee table, 2 containers, both half-eaten. And there, on the couch, was Sarah. Curled up against her, head on her shoulder, was a woman I'd never seen before. They both jumped up like they'd been electrocuted. Jen, what are you? I didn't hear you knock. Sarah's face went through about 5 different expressions in 2 seconds. Sorry, I texted but you didn't respond, and I had a shit day. I was backing toward the door, mortified. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, I should have called first. No, it's fine. This is my friend Emily. Emily, this is Jen, my best friend I've told you about. Emily gave me a tight smile and a little wave. She was pretty, dark curly hair, glasses, wearing one of those soft oversized sweatshirts that costs $100 but looks like you got it at Target. She looked deeply uncomfortable. I should go, Emily said quietly, standing up. Early morning tomorrow anyway. You don't have to, Sarah started. I'll call you tomorrow. Emily grabbed her bag and was out the door before I could even process what was happening. I'm so sorry, I said immediately. I didn't mean to chase off your friend. Shitty timing. It's fine. Sarah's voice was weird, strained. You said you had a bad day? We talked for maybe 20 minutes. I vented about work. She made sympathetic noises, but something felt off. She kept glancing at her phone. She seemed distracted. I finished my wine faster than usual and made an excuse to leave. Hey, I said at the door. I really am sorry about barging in. Tell Emily I'm not usually such a mess. She knows. She understands. Sarah hugged me, but it felt stiff. Text me when you get home? I did. She responded with a heart emoji. The whole thing bugged me, but I couldn't figure out why. So Sarah had made a new friend. So what? I should be happy she was expanding her social circle. We weren't in college anymore, we couldn't spend every waking moment together. But something nagged at me. 2 days later, I was at brunch with my friend Melissa, telling her about the awkward encounter. Wait, Melissa said, her mimosa halfway to her mouth. Sarah was on the couch, cuddled up with another woman, watching TV on a Friday night, and you interrupted them? Yeah, it was so awkward. I felt terrible. Melissa stared at me. Jen, are you fucking with me right now? What? Sarah was on a date. You interrupted a date. I laughed. No, she has a fiancé. Marcus. I've told you about Marcus. The Marcus you've met like 5 times in 8 years? The Marcus who is mysteriously never around. The Marcus she's been engaged to since the Obama administration? It hasn't been that long. Jen. Melissa put down her drink and looked at me seriously. Has it ever occurred to you that Marcus might not be real? That's insane. Of course he's real. I've met him. How many times? I don't know, maybe 7? 8 times? In 8 years. He travels a lot. Melissa pulled out her phone. What's Marcus's last name? Chen. Marcus Chen. She typed for a minute, frowning. There's no Marcus Chen who works in finance in Chicago. At least not one that matches the age range. Maybe he's not on social media. Some people aren't. Or maybe, Melissa said slowly, he doesn't exist, and Sarah is gay, and she's been using a fake fiancé as cover for the last 8 years. I wanted to laugh. It was absurd. Ridiculous. Sarah would have told me. She was my best friend. We told each other everything. But Melissa's words burrowed into my brain and wouldn't leave. That night, I did something I'm not proud of. I created a fake Facebook profile, generic name, no photo, minimal information, and I searched for Marcus Chen in Chicago. I found 3. One was 68 years old. One was 24. The third one's profile was private, but his profile picture showed a black man. Sarah's Marcus was Asian. I searched LinkedIn, found several Marcus Chens, but none that matched. I felt sick. There had to be an explanation. Maybe Marcus used a different name professionally. Maybe he was just really, really private. But I couldn't shake it. I spent the next few days in a weird fog. I kept replaying every conversation about Marcus, looking for inconsistencies. And once I started looking, I saw them everywhere. Sarah had never mentioned where Marcus went to college. Never mentioned his family beyond vague references to parents who lived out west. Never showed me photos from their dates or trips together. Never, in 8 years, suggested a double date despite my being single for 2 of those years and in a relationship for another 3. The weekend after brunch with Melissa, I did something even worse. I drove to the address Sarah had once mentioned as Marcus's apartment building. She'd said it was in the Gold Coast, on State Street. There were only a few buildings it could be based on her description. I found it, a nice high-rise with a doorman. I sat in my car across the street for 2 hours, feeling like a complete psychopath, not even sure what I was looking for. Sarah's car pulled up around 4 p.m. She got out, carrying grocery bags, and walked into the building. The doorman greeted her like he knew her. She didn't buzz up, she just went straight in. She came out 2 hours later. Alone. I followed her car back to her own apartment. She went inside. I sat there feeling crazy and paranoid and stupid. Maybe Marcus was out of town. Maybe she was watering his plants or something. But I knew. Deep down, I knew. I decided I needed proof before I said anything. Concrete proof. Because if I was wrong, if I accused my best friend of 15 years of living some elaborate lie, our friendship would never recover. So I did something I will probably regret for the rest of my life. I waited until I knew Sarah had plans. A freelance client meeting she'd mentioned. And I let myself into her apartment. I told myself I was just going to look around quickly. Just to see if there was any evidence of Marcus actually living there, or visiting regularly, or existing at all in Sarah's life beyond her word. Her apartment was immaculate, as always. 1 bedroom, tastefully decorated, lots of plants. I checked the bathroom, 1 toothbrush. I checked the bedroom closet, all her clothes. No men's clothes except for 1 ratty Northwestern hoodie that could have been anyone's. I checked the medicine cabinet, birth control pills, which, okay, that didn't necessarily mean anything, people take those for lots of reasons. I was about to leave, feeling guilty and stupid, when I saw her laptop open on the kitchen counter, still on. I shouldn't have. I knew I shouldn't have. I looked. Her email was open. I scrolled, hands shaking. Not even sure what I was looking for. And there it was. An email chain with Emily. The woman from the couch. Dated back 3 years. My love. Sweetheart. I can't wait to see you this weekend. I miss you so much it physically hurts. Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? We should just tell everyone. I know you're scared, but I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I scrolled further. Dozens of emails. Hundreds. An entire relationship documented in digital love letters. And then I found an email from 2 months ago. Subject. The Jen situation. Emily. I hate that we have to keep doing this. She's your best friend. Don't you think she deserves to know the truth? Sarah. I know, but you don't understand, she's been through so much. Her ex, the cheating, all of it. She leans on me so hard. If she finds out I've been lying to her for years, it'll destroy her. And honestly, I don't know if I can handle her rejection. She's the closest thing I have to family. Emily. So you're going to keep lying? For how long? Forever? Sarah. I just need more time. Please. Just a little more time to figure out how to tell her. Emily. Sarah, we've been together for 3 years. I love you. But I can't keep being your secret. I can't keep pretending to be just your friend when your actual friends are around. It's killing me. Sarah. I know, baby. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll figure it out. I promise. I stood there in Sarah's kitchen, staring at her laptop screen, and felt my entire world tilt sideways. Marcus didn't exist. Had never existed. Sarah was gay. Or bi. Or something. The labels didn't matter, that wasn't the point. She'd been in a relationship with Emily for 3 years. And she'd been lying to me, to everyone, about all of it. But it was worse than that. So much worse. Because as I kept scrolling, I found more emails. Different chains. And I started to piece together a timeline that made me physically nauseous. Sarah had invented Marcus 8 years ago. Right around the time I'd been dating my ex, Jake. Right around the time I'd been happy and in love and talking about moving in with him. There were emails to her friend Kara from back then. Jen has Jake, and everyone keeps asking me about my dating life. I'm so tired of the questions. The, why aren't you seeing anyone, and, I know a great guy, bullshit. So I told them I met someone. It just came out. And now I have to maintain this lie because backing out seems crazier than just pretending he exists. And later, the Marcus thing has gotten out of hand. I had to fake a relationship timeline, create backstory, the whole 9 yards. At this point I'm in too deep. But at least everyone has stopped trying to set me up or asking invasive questions about my love life. Small victories. And then, dated about 5 years ago. You know what's fucked up? I think I've actually started to enjoy it. Having a fake fiancé means I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to come out. I don't have to deal with my dad's bullshit or watch Jen potentially freak out. I can just exist in this comfortable middle ground where everyone assumes I'm straight and engaged and leaves me the fuck alone. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. She'd created Marcus not because she was protecting herself, but because it was easier. More convenient. Less complicated than being honest. And she'd maintained the lie for 8 years. 8 years of fake relationship milestones. 8 years of excuses and deflections. 8 years of letting me believe I knew her, that we were best friends, that we told each other everything. How many times had I comforted her about wedding planning stress that didn't exist? How many times had I listened to her vent about Marcus's work stress, or their communication issues? How many hours of my life had I spent invested in a relationship that was literally fiction? I thought about Emily's email. She deserves to know the truth. Yeah, I fucking did. I closed the laptop and left the apartment. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, trying to decide what to do. I should have confronted her immediately. But I was so angry, and hurt, and confused, and I knew if I talked to her right then I'd say things I couldn't take back. So I went home. I poured a large glass of wine. And I started going through our text messages, our photos, our entire friendship with new eyes. The evidence was everywhere once I looked for it. Sarah deflecting every time I suggested she bring Marcus to something. Sarah changing the subject whenever I asked questions about their relationship. Sarah's weird insistence on keeping parts of her life separate, compartmentalized. And God, the worst part? The absolute worst part? I'd told her everything about my life. My relationship dramas, my work stress, my family issues, my deepest insecurities. I'd been vulnerable and honest and real with her. And she'd been performing, playing a role, lying to my face for 8 years while I trusted her completely. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat on my couch, drinking wine, cycling through anger and hurt and confusion and this weird grief for a friendship that apparently had never been what I thought it was. Around 3 a.m., Sarah texted me. Hey, you awake? Can't sleep. Want to watch something stupid and eat ice cream? It was such a normal text. The kind of text we'd exchanged hundreds of times over the years. Late night hangout invitations when one of us couldn't sleep or was stressed. I stared at it for 10 minutes before responding. Can't tonight. Long day tomorrow. Rain check? Of course. Love you less than 3. I almost threw my phone across the room. The next day at work, I couldn't concentrate. I kept imagining confrontation scenarios. What would I even say? Hey Sarah, so I broke into your apartment, snooped through your laptop, and discovered you've been catfishing me about your entire romantic life for almost a decade? I called Melissa. So, I said, you were right. Marcus isn't real. Sarah is gay and dating a woman named Emily and has been lying to everyone for years. Silence. Then, holy shit. How did you find out? I told her everything. The stakeout, the apartment break-in, the emails. When I finished, Melissa let out a long breath. Okay, first of all, what you did was crazy and invasive and I probably shouldn't support it. But also, Jesus Christ, Jen, that's so fucked up. What are you going to do? I don't know. You have to confront her. I know. Like, soon. I know. But I didn't. I avoided Sarah's texts for 3 days, making excuses about work being crazy. She got worried. Hey, is everything okay? You've been Mia and I'm getting concerned. Did something happen? Everything's fine, just slammed with a new case. Promise I'm okay. Okay. Well, I'm here if you need me. Always. You know that, right? The irony made me want to scream. On the fourth day, Sarah showed up at my apartment. I heard the knock and knew immediately it was her. I opened the door. She stood there with Thai food and wine, our traditional comfort ritual. You're avoiding me, she said. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Bullshit. I know you, Jen. Something's wrong. Did I do something? The genuine concern in her voice made it worse somehow. Come in, I said. We sat on my couch. Sarah opened the takeout containers, chattering about her week, trying to fill the awkward silence. I let her talk. I waited. Finally, she stopped mid-sentence. Okay, seriously, what's going on? Who's Emily? Her face went pale. What? Emily, the woman who was at your apartment. Who is she? I told you, she's just a friend. Don't. My voice came out harsher than I intended. Don't lie to me. Not anymore. Sarah's eyes went wide. I don't know what you. I went to your apartment while you were out. I looked at your laptop. I know, Sarah. I know everything. The color drained from her face completely. We sat in silence for what felt like an eternity. Oh my God, she whispered finally. Oh my God, Jen, I can explain. Can you? I stood up. I couldn't sit anymore. Can you explain why you've been lying to me for 8 years? Can you explain why you invented an entire fake person? Can you explain why you've been letting me invest in a relationship that doesn't exist? I was going to tell you. When? At your fake wedding? Were you going to hire an actor to play Marcus? How far were you planning to take this? It's not like that. Sarah stood too, tears starting to stream down her face. You don't understand. Then make me understand. Because from where I'm standing, my best friend of 15 years has been lying to my face for over half that time, and I don't know what the fuck to think anymore. I was scared. Sarah's voice broke. I was scared, okay? I was scared to come out. I was scared of my dad's reaction. I was scared of losing people. And yes, I was scared of losing you. So you lied instead? That makes it better? No, I know it doesn't make it better. But you don't know what it's like, Jen. You don't know what it's like to grow up being told that who you are is wrong, is disgusting, is something to be ashamed of. My dad still won't accept it. I've tried to tell him and he shuts down completely. Do you know what that does to a person? Then you should have told me. I was crying now too. I would have supported you. I would have been there for you. Instead you lied, and you kept lying, and you let me believe I knew you when I didn't know you at all. You do know me. This doesn't change who I am. It changes everything. Every conversation we've had about relationships, every time I asked you about Marcus, every time I comforted you about fake wedding planning stress, it was all bullshit. You performed our entire friendship while I actually lived it. That's not fair, Sarah said, but her voice was weak. Fair? You want to talk about fair? I told you everything, Sarah. When Jake cheated on me, when I was falling apart, you were there. And I really thought, that we had the kind of friendship where we could tell each other anything. But apparently that only went one direction. I was there for you through all of that. That was real. My support was real. But you weren't honest. You were supporting me while living a lie. I was protecting myself. From what? From me? From your best friend? Sarah sank back onto the couch, her head in her hands. I don't expect you to understand. You're right. I don't understand. Help me understand why you thought this was okay. Help me understand why you let me believe Marcus was real. Help me understand why, even after you met Emily, even after you fell in love with her, you kept up the charade. Because it was easier. Sarah looked up at me, her face blotchy and red. Because once I'd started lying, I didn't know how to stop. Because the longer it went on, the worse it got, and I was trapped. Don't you get it? I was trapped in this lie I'd created, and every day it got harder to figure out how to tell the truth. You could have just told me. At any point, you could have just said, hey Jen, I need to tell you something important. And risk losing you? Risk you looking at me differently? Risk everything changing? Things changed anyway, Sarah. They changed the moment you decided to lie. We stood there in my living room, both crying, 15 years of friendship crumbling between us like poorly mixed concrete. I'm sorry, Sarah said finally. I'm so sorry. You have no idea how sorry I am. Are you sorry you lied, or are you sorry you got caught? She flinched like I'd slapped her. That's not fair. Fair keeps coming up. I'm done worrying about fair. So what now? Sarah's voice was small. Is this it? Are we over? I wanted to say yes. I wanted to tell her to leave and never come back. I wanted to be done with all of it. But 15 years doesn't just evaporate, even when it's built on lies. I don't know, I said honestly. I need time. I need space. I need to figure out what was real and what wasn't. It was real, Sarah insisted. Our friendship was real. My love for you is real. This doesn't change. It changes everything, I repeated. Please leave, Jen. Please. She left. The Thai food sat on my coffee table, getting cold, and I couldn't bring myself to eat it. For the next week, I ignored her calls and texts. I told Melissa everything. I told my therapist, emergency session, bless her. I tried to go about my normal life while feeling like the ground had disappeared beneath my feet. Sarah texted every day. I'm so sorry. Please talk to me. I miss you. I understand if you hate me. You have every right to be angry. I'm going to tell everyone the truth. Starting with my dad. You were right. That last one made me pause. Was she really going to come out? Or was this just another manipulation? Another way to try to get back in my good graces? 10 days after our confrontation, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Jen? It's Emily. Please don't hang up. I almost did hang up. But curiosity won. What do you want? I just wanted to say. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't mean much coming from me, but I'm sorry. I've been telling Sarah for years that she needed to be honest with you. With everyone. I never wanted to be a secret. Why are you calling me? Because Sarah is a mess. She's barely sleeping, barely eating. She told her dad yesterday and it didn't go well. She's staying with me because she can't be alone right now. And I know you're hurt and angry, and you have every right to be, but she loves you. Whatever else is true, that's true. You're her family. She has a funny way of showing it. I know, but people do stupid things when they're scared. They lie, they hide, they create these elaborate defenses. It doesn't make it right. But maybe it makes it understandable? I didn't say anything. I'm not asking you to forgive her, Emily continued. I'm just asking you to remember that Sarah is human. She's flawed. She made a terrible choice and then compounded it for years because she didn't know how to fix it. But the person you've been friends with for 15 years, that person is real. The love is real. The friendship is real. It was also built on a foundation that had some serious cracks. Some serious cracks? She invented an entire person. I know. And that's fucked up. But ask yourself. If she'd come out to you 8 years ago, told you she was gay, would your friendship have changed? No. Of course not. Then maybe the lie was more about her own internalized homophobia and fear than about anything to do with you specifically. Maybe she wasn't lying to you so much as lying around you. Does that make sense? It did, actually, which made me even more angry. I need to go, I said. Okay, but Jen? For what it's worth, I think you're right to be angry. You should be angry. She fucked up massively. But maybe don't let that anger destroy 15 years of real friendship. That's all I wanted to say. She hung up. I sat with that conversation for days. I thought about all the times Sarah had been there for me. Really, truly there. When my mom was sick. When I didn't get into my first choice law school. When Jake cheated. When I was spiraling about whether I was good enough, smart enough, successful enough. Those moments were real, weren't they? But how could they be real when the person I thought was supporting me didn't actually exist? Or, existed, but was hiding such a fundamental part of herself? I made a list. Honest to God, I made a pro-con list like we were in a rom-com. Reasons to forgive Sarah. 15 years of friendship. She was genuinely scared. The support she gave me was real, regardless of her own lies. Everyone fucks up. She's trying to make it right now. Reasons to stay angry. 8 years of lying. The level of deception was extreme. She only came clean because she got caught. I don't know if I can trust her again. This fundamentally changed how I see our entire friendship. The list didn't help. 2 weeks after our confrontation, Sarah sent me one more text. I told everyone. My dad knows, my extended family knows. I changed my Facebook relationship status to, in a relationship with Emily Chen. Yes, she took my fake fiancé's last name as a joke, because she has a dark sense of humor. I'm done hiding. I'm done lying. I know this doesn't fix what I did to you. I know, sorry, isn't enough. But I wanted you to know that you were right. About all of it. I should have been honest from the beginning. I should have trusted you. I should have trusted myself. I was a coward, and I hurt you, and I have to live with that. Whether or not you can forgive me is up to you. But either way, thank you. For being the kind of friend who demanded honesty. Who demanded that I be better. I love you. I always have. I stared at that text for an hour. Then I called her. Hello? Her voice was tentative, like she couldn't believe I was actually calling. Hi. Silence. I'm still really angry, I said finally. I know. You should be. And I don't know if I can trust you again. I understand. But, I took a breath. I want to try. I want to try to rebuild this. It's going to take time, and it's going to be weird, and there are going to be days when I'm furious with you all over again. But, I don't want to lose 15 years of friendship. Even if some of it was built on bullshit. I heard her start to cry. Thank you. I'll do whatever it takes. Stop. Don't make promises. Just, be honest. From now on, that's all I need. Honesty. I can do that. I will do that. Okay. We talked for 2 hours that night. Really talked. She told me about growing up in a conservative family, about knowing she was different from a young age, about the fear and shame and confusion. She told me about meeting Emily, about falling in love, about wanting to come out but not knowing how. I told her about feeling betrayed, about questioning everything, about the hurt that came from realizing someone you trusted had been performing. It wasn't a fix-everything conversation. But it was a start. That was 3 months ago. Where are we now? Honestly, it's complicated. Sarah and Emily are officially together. They're actually good together, I can see that now. Emily is funny and kind and clearly crazy about Sarah. I'm trying not to hold the secrecy against her, since that was Sarah's choice, not hers. Sarah came out to everyone. Her dad is still processing, not handling it well. Her mom is supportive. Her extended family is a mixed bag. She lost a few friends, which makes me furious on her behalf, even though I'm still processing my own hurt. We're rebuilding, slowly. We have coffee once a week. We text, though not as frequently as before. I'm relearning who she is when she's not hiding. It's strange, like meeting a new version of someone you've known forever. Some days I'm fine. Some days I'm still angry. Some days I mourn the friendship we had, even though I know it was built on lies. Some days I'm just tired of the emotional labor it takes to forgive someone who hurt you this deeply. But here's what I've learned. People are complicated. Friendship is complicated. And sometimes the people we love make terrible choices out of fear and pain and internalized shame. That doesn't excuse the choices. But maybe it explains them. I don't know if Sarah and I will ever get back to where we were. Maybe we won't. Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe the friendship we had before was codependent and unhealthy in ways I haven't fully processed yet. But maybe we can build something new. Something more honest. Something that acknowledges that we're both flawed humans doing our best. Or maybe I'm just rationalizing because I'm not ready to let go of 15 years of history. I genuinely don't know. What I do know is this. If someone you love lies to you, you have every right to be angry. You have every right to walk away. But you also have the right to stay, to try to rebuild, to see if honesty can replace the lies. There's no right answer. There's just whatever you can live with. And right now, I'm living with cautious hope that my best friend and I can figure out how to be friends again. Real friends. Honest friends. We'll see. Edit. Wow, this blew up. I'm reading all the comments and I genuinely appreciate everyone sharing their perspectives. A few people have asked follow-up questions, so I'll try to address them here. Why did you forgive her so easily? I Dawn.